Hello there. Welcome to Unfiltered Expat. This is part two of a series that I did on getting a job, a work visa for those who want to relocate to Spain and are curious about the process of getting a work permit. This part two focuses on the high tech sector and specifically companies who hire and sponsor the work visa for non-EU citizens. So, with regards to the challenges that you would be facing, I pointed those out in length in part one. I'll just briefly go over them because I repeatedly get the same question. So, going over it won't hurt again. So the main obstacle is going to be your pre-existing candidate pool in Spain. So the candidate pool that's going to give you a little bit of a challenge are the Latin American professionals, because Spain has pre-existing bilateral agreements with countries like Colombia, Argentina, and Chile, which are hubs for high-tech professionals. And those bilateral agreements are long-standing. I mean, Colombia used to be a Spanish colony. A lot of companies are already implanted outsources, high-tech outsources in Argentina, for example, Globant. So for them, for anyone working in Argentina, asking for a work permit is kind of almost a pre-approved fast track for them. So that is a significant obstacle for you because they speak Spanish. They're already familiar with the Hispanic work culture. They're not in culture shock. So they're expected to integrate fairly seamlessly into the professional environment. Another source of competition for you are the European citizens from other countries, such as professionals from Poland, Lithuania, Hungary, Germany. There's hubs of professional um, high-tech profiles there that are highly qualified, but they do not master the Spanish language. So in essence, it's competition still because they are authorized to work anywhere in the European Union. So there's no really work permit required. They just switch their residency to being a formal resident of Spain, and they just start paying taxes here instead of paying them in Poland or wherever they come from in the European Union. So those are the existing candidate pool that you're going to be facing. So is it impossible? No, it's not impossible for you if you're a non-EU citizen, if you're an Australian, a Canadian, an American. But you have to know the obstacles that you'll be facing. So the other thing I wanted to mention is that the high-tech sector is concentrated in what we call the Spanish Silicon Valley, which is in Malaga. There are other positions in other regions of Spain, which offer probably a better quality of life because they're cheaper. They're not so crowded with tourists. There's less competition for housing. So there are some in other regions of Spain, and this video is going to go through each of them that are known to hire and sponsor work visas for high-tech professionals. So keep in mind that there are 17 autonomous regions in Spain, and much like you have 50 different states in the United States, and each region is not as efficient or not as cognizant of deadlines and timelines as another region, right? If you get something done in the state of Alabama, it might take you longer than if you're in the state of New York, more or less. Don't want to offend anybody, but you know what I'm getting at. So, with another thing I wanted to mention with regards to the challenges are the pay cut. Everybody wants to know what the pay cut is. So, if you're strictly coming um, and making your decision based on the salary, that's not really going to be a very rewarding experience for you because, yes, there will be a pay cut and a substantial one at that. So, if this is a transactional um, approach for you, then you are not going to be happy in Spain. You have to come in Spain because you don't want to be in the rat race. You want to be treated like a human. You don't want to be in at will employment. You want something that's work life balance, the European version, not the American version of work-life balance. There are laws in Europe where you're not expected to answer emails outside of business hours. There are laws against that, specifically in France and other countries, though in Spain it's not quite yet implemented. So you have to look at the big picture and see what you're, willing to compromise on before you start your job search. So without further ado, let's get to it. And we're going to start with the first one. First one is Wallapop. They're in Barcelona. They are growing. It's a very famous app in Spain. Um, it is an app where people buy and sell their stuff. Okay, something similar to a small eBay, that kind of thing. All right. So a lot of these companies will be based in either Malaga or Barcelona with reference to high tech. Then we have K-Lagan. They're in Galicia, so they are unusual. They're in the northwest part of Spain, and they are occasionally hiring for high-level engineering manager leads. And they will not require a high level of English. This is all going to depend on how your interview goes and if you can communicate fairly easily when you're interviewed. So next we have Talent. They're in Barcelona. So the specificity with Barcelona is you kind of have an added layer there because you're expected to understand Catalan, which is their local language. It's considered an official language, Catalan, and Spanish and English. So your brain is kind of going to be, going in three in three separate modes there. But a lot of opportunities are in Barcelona as well as Malaga with DevOps engineering, junior positions, etc. Next, we have the workshop. And the workshop is in Malaga. They are very used to hiring non-EU citizens. So you want to look them up. Then we have N26, which is a fintech. This is kind of like uh, Revolut. It's kind of a bank card, and it's quite popular in Europe. And they are based, their headquarters are based in Germany. Then we have TradingView. They're in Malaga. They also hire frequently developers, and you'll see that wherever it's possible, I have included the URL link where you can directly go and view if that position is still available or if they have other ones posted, and they will on the website, they'll indicate if they're sponsoring or not. But if they are in this video and they are included here, that's because they do hire and sponsor work visas for non-EU citizens. Multiverse Computing, they're in the Basque Country bordering France. Their language is called Euskara, their regional language. That's in the Basque region. So you're going to be away from the crowds. The advantage of being in that region and in Galicia, the other one I mentioned previously, is that you will have a cheaper cost of living, and you'll have less expenses because to rent is significantly more affordable there than if you're in Barcelona or Malaga, which is increasingly increasing the cost of housing. Next thing is in Barcelona. They are not hiring a lot of high tech. They hire a lot of what I want to call back office, accounting position, auditing, things like that. Kiwi Travel Tech is kind of popular in Europe. They're a travel tech. Now, they're headquartered in the Czech Republic. So companies who sponsor work visas for non-EU citizens uh, not necessarily are always Spanish companies. They can be a Czech company like this one or Hungarian company, and they'll have offices in Spain. And they're looking for a profile that they want in their location in Spain. So I hope this has been useful for you. I will update this video from time to time. If you have any comments or questions, please put them in the comment section, and I'll be happy to see what are the most common pain points that you have so I can address them. Thank you for listening. See you in the next video. Bye.